Okay, we now move on to our next speaker for today. Our next speaker is Marien van der Hoek, who is the Commercial Director of atTerra Inspectioneering. Marien has over 40 years of experience in the process industry. He's worked at leading companies like Emerson, and in 2012 he started his own company to develop drone inspection technologies. He founded Ronic Inspectioneering in 2016, and in 2019, Terra Drone took a stake in the company and it was renamed Terra Inspectioneering. So over to you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Am I okay on the line?
We can hear you well, thank you.
Okay. As most of my presentation will have some videos in it, I will switch to my own screen to avoid some of the problems on the internet connections. So I will start sharing my screen now. Okay, so this should work now. Is my presentation visible now?
Yeah, we can see it, thank you.
Okay, so then I will start. Yeah, thank you for the introduction, Margaret. So I don't have to add too much to that, I think. And today my presentation will focus on so the inside inspections of tank storage. And the theme we have chosen already many years ago is no more people in confined spaces. This was a remark which was communicated to the world a few years ago already by, I believe it was the CEO of Dow. And from that time on, we started also really looking at these kinds of applications in confined spaces, and started the whole program on what you can do to avoid people being in those kind of confined spaces. So as I said in the introduction, we started developing these kinds of inspections with drone and robots already about in 2012. So we got quite an experience to cover for this kinds. And today I will bring you an update and see where we can take it from there. Well, what is the world we are living in? I said we are particularly driven by the confined spaces. It's everywhere where it's dark, difficult to reach, dangerous. In short, is where you don't want to have people in it. Here you see a typical picture of a terminal here in Rotterdam. And well, basically anything which is a confined space, we are interested in and can do it. On the other hand, storage tanks is our core business at this moment, and also for the developments we did on the specific applications, we are really far ahead. But as you can see in this overview, we are doing a lot of other activities as well. Also related to storage tanks, of course, we can do jetties as well. And other particular questions where we are currently looking in is how we can do really the measurements of sphere tanks, which is rather actual at this moment. Yeah, in short, there's a whole lot of applications where we can use this technology. But for the purpose of this presentation, I will limit it to the storage tanks. Yeah, what are the key drivers we developed in relation with all the questions we got from the asset owners? And basically, there are only 5 things to remember. Again, number 1 driver is no more people in confined spaces. And yeah, in the same area, of course, that means also no more working at height. because if you take all the accidents, roughly 70 to 80% of incidents which do happen in the process industry in totally are either related to entering confined spaces or working at height, and or a combination of them, of course. The whole approach we have taken with doing this new way of inspection technology is really everything is data driven, because we fully digitalized the whole process. So that means that the more data you got in relation with your inspections and maintenance programs, yeah, we are really getting there. Of course, when you can shorten the whole time that people have to walk around or climbing on scaffolding in tanks, that means there's a lot to gain on the amount of time people are really doing the work in those kinds of tanks. So that means on number 4 we have defined, of course, the lowering of the downtime for inspection and maintenance procedures. And of course, if you take it all as a result, at the end, it means over the years lowering your cost of your asset management. The way we developed this whole technology within atTerra Inspectioneering is that we took, where possible, the most common technology for measurements, for instance, on UT measurements. But on the other hand, if we are faced with applications where we don't have a solution yet, we also have within our team here the combination of executing these projects as a service. On the other hand, we have the team here ready to really design and develop the application when necessary. And that makes us a unique inspection company driven by robotics and drones, I think, because the people who design and develop the whole thing have to execute it in practice as well. And that gives us a very, very short learning curve. And also when we are faced with applications in the industry, we are very flexible in designing and creating this new technical solution. Yeah, as I said, we are working now for many, many years already in the whole process industry. And basically, we are mainly focusing on this process industry because, yeah, as was said in the introduction, my roots are there. So that means that we have a good insight in all the asset owners' problems and applications. And here you see a few of the key people, of the key customers, where we do on a regular basis the services already for. And also we are now in the process of taking, inspection contracts on board for 2 or 3 years. For instance, with Vopak, we have a 3-year agreement. And also with BASF for Germany and Belgium. Just 2 of the examples where we really already have developed a long-term relationship with those customers. And again, our total customer database is around 72 customers right now, with some of the particularly big international companies shown here. Yeah, it was also said in the introduction that we started our own company as we are now in 2016. And in 2018, we started discussing with a very big drone inspection company called atTerra. And they are headquartered in Europe. And they are basically faced on doing all kinds of inspections, also related to the industrial market, but also in the infra market. But as we call it, these are all related flying outside. So for the process industry, that means chimneys, flare stacks, and these kinds of pipe bridges, and these kinds of applications. And the unique thing we developed here as Terra Inspectioneering is that we're really focusing on those confined spaces. So bringing together the outside capabilities and the inside capabilities of doing this drone inspections are fully aligned now with Terra Drone. And also the big advantage for Terra Drone is that we have now say a foothold all around the globe, as you can see in this slide. And that means that our technology, which we develop here in the Netherlands, can deploy all over the globe and supported, of course, by ourselves, but also with the total Terra Drone organizations. So that means, particularly for the international customers, when you do projects with us in Europe or Western Europe, we can do it in the same way. And first of all, because we can do that because it's all fully digitalized, but also we are training and having those people getting all the knowledge of our technology around the globe. And we only had one problem, but everyone was faced with that. It's because of the corona, because we had the plan also already educating and training about 10 or 15 countries around the globe last year. But yeah, with all the travel restrictions and these kinds of things, we are a little bit behind that schedule. But anyway, wherever you are in the world, just call in Terra Drone or Terra Inspectioneering, and we can see where we can support and organize to execute projects and also support the technology. Yeah, also very good if you're dealing. We are now a company between a startup and a scale-up, so to speak. And that means, of course, when you start dealing with this, using this technology, you want to have the background that it is a solid organization, particularly also via Terra Drone in Japan. We recently had a good some of investors who are investing in the company, and we are still looking for more investors, and that will also mean that our future is also secured by having these fundings from investor to bring ourselves and the technology to a next level. Well, again, when we are executing a project, so we are not really a product selling company only. We use also a mix of the drone technology we develop ourselves in this UT thickness measurement drones. But on the other hand, when we have to do a full scope of inspections, it's we have a complete portfolio of other drones, and particularly now that we are integrating with the other Terra Drone organizations, we have a much broader application, whatever is needed to inspect the assets. You see also here on the right down corner, as I referred in my introduction, that we're doing jetties as well. So we make a combination of flying and sailing to, in this particular case, for the terminals industry and whatever is needed. We got a riding robot, as we call it, here in the middle. It's fully wireless, just like you are flying. Basically, it's the same technology and data capturing, but not flying, but riding on wheels and pipelines. Another application we developed over here. And of course, we are making a lot of use of 3D scanning technology. That means everything in the installations. We do the scanning and bring every detail and also the inspection reports into the 3D model. I will show you that later on. Okay, here you see the broad overview of the current services we are operating right now. And yeah, as you can see, for the storage tanks applications, we do the VT and the UT measurements. Of course, we do all visual inspections, which is necessary. And yeah, particularly I will give you some videos on this. Again, we do the full storage tanks inspections according driven out of Europe, the EMUA 159, but we also have now implemented for the rest of the world the equivalent on the API 653, which is available. We do also participate in full turnarounds on certain projects. That means we come with complete teams and being part of the whole turnaround team, and do wherever we can these kinds of inspections with our drones, and again to avoid people going in this confined spaces, and particularly very, of course, important, of course, in turnarounds is yeah, the time reduction, which, because you don't have to go in with people with all the permits and related stuff with that, so that gives a very good advantage to be integral part of turnaround teams. And very shortly we will do another one here in the Netherlands. So that's also something in the broader way in our portfolio. As I said, in the chimney inspections, flare inspections, I will not go into to all of these kinds. Another thing, just as a side step before we go really into the tank applications, is that we are focusing also now doing boiler tubes inspections. We are developing, apart from UT measurements, also liquid penetrant testing. As you can see, it's still in the research development, but these are the things we are currently developing.
Thanks, Marien. Unfortunately, we are out of time now. We do have to move on to the next speaker. Would you just like to wrap up for us? And we will share your website afterwards.
I will show you one more. Well, just to give you a brief overview how this technology works over here. Again, this is measuring the walls. Again, as I said, we can do the roofs as well, also the rafter, the beams of the rafter constructions by using this technology. So that's basically okay.
Great, thank you. Really interesting presentation. Yeah, as mentioned, we will share your slides and those videos on the StocExpo and Tank Storage Magazine websites. You've had a couple of questions as well that unfortunately we don't have time to answer, but again, we will make sure that we do answer those and publish those as well afterwards.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.